I carry the honor of introducing and conversating with our guest on the leaderboards today. Now the leaderboards is brought to you by MTN Cowbank and High Five Choco Malt. Our guest is a serial entrepreneur, okay, with decades of experience in various sectors of the economy. He created YOKS Investments Limited in 2001 as a sole proprietorship with just one car, which he drove himself, and managed with a single-minded vision to become the reliable car rental company in the country. Today, after 2 decades, in fact, over 2 decades, because we're in 2022, YOKS Investments Limited is now in an enviable position as the most reliable car rental and transportation company in Ghana. With the ambition to continue to build a world-class business that is at par with any global company, he and his team have won over 15 awards while gaining recognition within the industry as a trend setter. His positive attitude towards 7 others has led to him becoming the sitting president of Car Rental Association of Ghana. That's wow. Where he has fostered changes and influenced policies that directly have impacted the car rental industry. It's just been wins upon wins upon wins. Through his business relationship with financial institutions as a lender, he has been able to recommend the implementation of financial facilities that rewards the borrower and satisfies the bank's requirements. As a result of his seeing his engagement with banks as a mutually beneficial partnership. Haven't we all at some point thought this and wished this and hoped that it was? One of the highlights of his professional life as a CEO is meeting Camilla, the Duchess of Cornwall, in Buckingham Palace as an invited guest on a very special occasion. What was that like? We'll get into that. I know you want to know, because I want to know. Now, despite the successes as a businessman and entrepreneur, he aspires to expand his business to employ more graduates with no experience and train them to become more effective contributors to their own economic growth. I know by now you're itching to hear who this person is. Who is this person? Seth Yabua Okran, CEO of YOKS Car Rental and President of the Car Rental Association of Ghana. That's who's our guest on the Y Leaderboards today. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, LJ.
It's great to have you here today.
It is a pleasure to be here.
Oh, I find the pleasure is actually all ours.
Let me say that you're doing great job at YFM.
Oh.
For me, anything that touches the youth, anything that makes someone happy makes me feel good.
Makes you feel good.
So when I got the invitation to be here and speak about my journey and share that with the youth, I'm so happy to be here. So I'm very happy to be here this morning.
It's great to have you, and we love even more to be able to share this to inspire the youth, because sometimes certain people need to hear certain stories to know that it's also possible for them. Tell us about your family and community setting while growing up.
Woo. I had let me say good morning to your listeners.
Yes.
To your listeners. And I would say that I have very different, living in different communities during my upbringing. I remember I was born in the Volta region then. My parents were, my dad was working with a state farm, so
okay.
Even though he's a Fanti and my mom was a Ghana. And then, so I was born in the Volta region, and at the age 9 years, I moved to Accra to live with my sister. And yeah, I started school from the Volta region, continuing in Accra.
What was the sudden shift like? Starting from the Volta region, coming to Accra, how did these changes also affect you while growing up? Like, what was that like?
Well, what I can say to that, if you are a last born of a large family, my daddy used to say that I came by accident. They didn't plan for me.
You weren't a planned baby.
A planned baby. So you can imagine I have elderly siblings that wanted to help my mom with my upbringing, raising me up. So that made me move from one city to another and all that. But I think that helped me to shape my thinking, because wherever I go, the culture there is dynamic, is different.
Yeah.
So as early age, I learned different settings and cultures, how every tribes or whatever
react or lives their life.
And I believe that have really helped me in shaping my thinking and how I relate to people every day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Give us an insight into your path through education. You did mention that you started in the Volta region.
Yeah.
What has the journey been like?
Very interesting journey, and I always believe that education is very important. It's a key to everything we do. But that alone, like a talent, that alone is not enough.
It's not enough.
I had my elementary school started from Dodofie LA Primary School.
Wow, you remember?
Yes, at the Volta region, the Volta North, the KGB district.
Okay.
I moved to Togo, to continue there a little bit, and then back to Dodofie, and then to Teshin, Accra.
Wait, you went back there?
Yeah, I went back there.
Why?
Circumstances and
okay.
I went back there and back
then came to Accra.
And then started at Teshin, and then to Osu, Silent 4, and to Maya and all that. But the interesting stuff is that at the age of 14, a lot of changes happened. I lost both parents in succession, a year in succession.
Whoa.
And that really affected my education.
Your education.
So, as we will call it, the formal education, which you have to sit in the four square of walls for someone to teach you. I had to drop out of middle school. I said common entrance. Our time, you can sit for the common entrance exams.
Okay.
So when you pass, you can cut off
whatever it is ahead.
Exactly. So I did that in middle school from 2 and to the secondary school, and also from 2 I lost my parents, and who should really care for me
was quite a questionable one.
Questionable one. So I had to make a decision at that age.
Wow.
To quit. So I would say that the formal settings, which is you go through the system and get all your certificates. I
didn't make it through the whole journey.
Exactly. I wasn't privileged enough to go through that journey. But the question now I ask myself, if I've had opportunity to go through that journey, would things would have turned out the way it is now or not? Is a mystery. So yes, that has been my educational career. But to add to that, like I said, my upbringing, because of living in different communities and all that, my parents, while they was alive, taught me, they said, life is how you make it.
Yes.
Everything you want, you can do. Right? So you don't need someone to tell you to go to the classroom or to learn.
Yes.
You can learn it on your
by
own.
Yourself.
And I did that. So even though I didn't go through the formal settings, I was learning.
You did learn in other means.
So that has been the journey,
how the journey
exactly
has been
for me.
Yeah. Now, it's quite a common story to hear that someone's life changes its trajectory because of the loss of a guardian or a parent. In those times, did you have grand plans for your life, and what was your support to go through?
I think I was a bit devastated when I lost my parent.
As expected?
Within the first year. Very interesting. Within the first year, going through from one end, I mean, you know, our certain family members, when everybody claim, oh, we're going to help you go through your school and all that, but that is not what it is.
Apply.
Yeah. But you can also blame them because of probably the economy. They have their own
to take care of
us. So the first year, I wasn't sure what I was doing. But I remember one day, it just dawned on me that, why are you crying? Why are you so down? You can do it, because my parents have taught me how to do it on your own. So I made that decision that let me quit, because I was struggling to pay my fees. At the point I have to go and do mate and get money to those struggles. So I decided, why not quit and rather get a job, get something to do, and build it up from there. So later on, I can save enough and go back to school. So that is what I did. And at that time, my capacity, or what I know, what I can do was to become a mate, because I don't have any qualification. I don't know nothing. A very young age. So yes, that was what I could do at the time. And let me add and say that there is always, all the time, something you can do if only you want to do something for yourself. So yes, I became a mate, build it up from there, learn how to drive, work a little bit at the urban roads. I was doing anything possible,
and everything that is employing, you would do it. Wow.
But I think I learned how to drive, and I realized, okay, this is not my thing. The interesting thing is that I work in different organizations and sectors, and I wasn't satisfied, because I look at those there and I ask myself, if I do this for 10 years, I'm going to be
like these people.
Exactly. And how safe am I if today the owner decided not to continue with the job again? So job security was a concern, you know. So I'll keep changing job from here and all that. Until
it's impressive that even at that age you were enlightened enough to process that if this person has been doing this for 6 to 10 years and they're here, I know this is not where I want to be. I need to find something better. Some people find one thing that's working and that's it. They're not moving anywhere else. Where did you pick this up from?
It came naturally. I believe my parents play a major role in that. You know, they let you believe in yourself, your abilities, what you can do, and they always tell you that you can do anything if you want to do it. So yes, I like good things. I like good things. So I was challenged every day, observing others, how things are done, and that inspired me to do it even better. You know. So when I find myself during the journey, I became a driver. I find myself in Vanev Europe Car at the time, which is a rental company. And I love the job. It's the only company I work for 4 years, because you take tourists and drive them around the country, Togo, Benin, everywhere. And I love the job because of the engagement with different backgrounds, different people, and all that. And one thing that always comes to mind is that I can do this better, because they share either they are happy or they are not happy with the service, or one thing or the other.
They are quite informative.
Exactly. And at the time, service standard is a bit of a challenge here. So I always say, if I have the opportunity, if I just get one car, I can do this even better than my boss is doing. So I am like, if I get the opportunity, what can I do? So I think about that. I sleep over, and always in my mind,
you're processing it. What ways, how do I make it better?
Even though I don't know how to set up my own company, but I always imagine it. I always think about it. And I believe it helped me when the opportunity,
when
the time was right.
Finally presented itself.
I was able to.
You did lose your parents at an early age, you stated. Where was your role model? Did you have one even? Who was that person? Why did you pick that person as your role model to look up to?
I don't have.
You didn't have one?
Any role model, but let me say this. Growing up with my parents, my mother was a Presbyterian, very strong one. My dad was a Methodist, and we do devotion, morning devotion.
Yeah.
They made me believe that they are just my earthly mothers, but God is
more than they could ever be for you.
Everything, and so we learned the Bible anyhow. And one of the key things, what I picked from, was God created everything, right?
Yeah.
According to the Bible.
Yeah.
But Adam, which is the first man, named everything. Just imagine, so the power that we have, because the Bible didn't say to us that Adam went back to God to ask him what to do.
Yeah.
Right? So that tells you creativity and innovation, right? So if God created everything and the human being, which is Adam, named everything, then nothing is impossible. I can do anything. Okay?
Wow.
That was my inspiration. And so I believe in myself, even though I have limitations.
Yes.
But I believe I can learn it. If you give me the chance, I can do it. I remember when somebody asked me, can you do this? I say yes. And I'll go and ask.
Or find out about it.
Exactly. That I don't say no.
No. Even when you don't know about it.
No. I can do it, but somebody knows it. So I don't really have a role model, but I think God was my role model.
Wow.
The faith. I believe I can do something, every day. I believe I can transform my life. I wasn't happy with where I was. But something will happen. How? I don't know.
But you know it will happen.
I know
it will happen. And that's all that matters.
That was my motivation. That drives me to.
That is outstanding. How did you prepare yourself for what was to come in your entrepreneurial life?
Well, as I was saying, working with driving all these people, I realized that one thing that they all we lacking is service.
The service wasn't just that good.
Exactly, the service. And I read it somewhere that the intention of God was to create us to be interdependent, to serve one another. So getting the feedback as the service, the car broke down here, this wasn't clean, and I was giving feedback, I want to terminate the contract and all that. I kept asking myself, what can I do differently
from what's already existing?
So when I had the opportunity, because I would say I thought about it every day,
every single day.
So I remember the turning around points. I was to drive this woman, this Canadian lady that rented a car for a year with my company, Entrepreneurial car. And obviously everyone says Seth can be a good person, because the lady requested that she wanted someone that can help her also at work.
Okay.
She was a consultant to the roads and highways,
so you weren't going to just be her driver?
No, to be able to help her in his office work as well.
Okay.
Because of my background, being a trader, I was trading from Togo, Benin, Nigeria, selling textbooks across the nations to schools, and working with Department of Urban Roads. We fix the potholes on the road. I'm kind of a bit
well versed in that area.
Exactly. So I took up the challenge, and I was driving Louis, and the car kept breaking down every day. This woman would push the car, and one day she said, I don't think I came to Ghana to die on your road. So I'm going to terminate the contract with your company, but I want you to come with me.
Wow.
I'm going to rent a car from a sister company, but I want you to be my driver. Immediately I realized that I have something that is unique
about me
that the woman wanted. Right? So how do I trade it? In fact, that night when you said that, I said I'll get back to you the next day. So when I came home, around 1 a.m. I'm awake thinking about what to say. So I came back the next day and I said, Louis, why not I will buy a car for you to rent from me?
Whoa.
And she laughed and said, whoa.
Whoa, what? That's innovative.
And he said, how are you going to call your company? And we laugh over it, right? And she said, I'm going on holiday for a month. If I come back and your car is ready, I'll rent from you.
Whoa.
And I said, oh, really? Okay, so that became a challenge, how to get that vehicle within a month. And I was working for Vanel, so I applied for my leave and I went to town. At the time, all my life savings was 500 cedis.
Hey.
And
wait, I think
that 5 million.
That's a substantial amount of money at that time.
Until 2007, we took out some zeros. It was 5 million, you know. Yeah, so I went to town with it and wanted to buy a car. Cars was priced around 30 million, 1,300 at the time, and all that. And I have almost 50%, 40% of that. Yes. So I was going from one garage to another garage and all that. And I settled in one particular garage, and I said, I want this car. I saw a Nissan Primera Red, and something said, I can buy this car.
That one.
Yeah. So I negotiated with the guy. I said, no, there's 1,200 at minimum. You can't 500.
He's not going lower than that.
500, you cannot buy a car with it. And I said, why not take my 500 and
then I'll pay in installments?
Finally, he said to me that vehicle belonged to somebody, so he can't make that decision. I said, no, why not take me to the person? You know, I kept coming for 1 week.
Didn't give up.
Yes, and he took me to the man, and the man said, you don't have the money. I need all my money. And I said, listen, take my 500 cedis and register the car in your name, keep the spare key, let someone come with me to know where I live, somebody can vouch for me, give me 2 months, I'll pay you the difference. Because I was saying that because I knew when Louise returned and I have a car, she will rent and she'll pay, and I can pay, you know. So the man looked at me and said, wow.
Who is this gentleman?
And he said I should give him a positive check. I don't have a checkbook at the time. So I said, just trust me, I will do it.
Yeah.
And I gave him all, and he agreed.
Wow.
That was my first, how I got my first car. So I gave him the 500 cedis. He registered the car in his name, and then he looked at where I live. He have all the documents. He, put tracker on it to track where I go. So Louis came, and I have a car. And that.
What was Louise's expression when she found out you actually made it possible?
He said, "Is it car indeed your car, or somebody, your brother, or somebody give it to you?" And I said, "Yes, it's my car." So when Louise came, I have a car. I pick her from the airport a week into the service, and I said, "Louise, can you pay me ahead?" And she did, and I paid the car owner.
Wow!
So that is how YOKS started.
started.
And the YOKS, I was sitting to create a name. So came Yeboah, the Y is Yeboah, the O is Okran, the K is Kwao, and the S is Set. So Yeboah, Okran, Kwao, Set. I turn it round. I was playing with words,
yes, and then
come out with a name. So that is how YOKS started in the year 2000, and there was a story who said the rest.
Whoa. What were the initial goals you set for yourself, and how soon did it take for you to achieve them? Considering you got a car in less than a month before she came back.
At the time, I wasn't sure the direction, but my background from driving for Vanel Europe cars, so I had to resign from that company and then started my own thing. And I think Louise played a major role, also helped me to create a domain. So yoksghana.com was as old as the company.
Wow.
Way back I wasn't using Yahoo or Gmail or
you went straight to
my own domain. So I was forward looking, I'm looking at, I'll build a business out of this. So after Louise left the 1 year, Louise is gone, I have 3 used cars, and I asked myself, which path should I go? Because at the time you have the franchisee, which is the Hess, Avis, Europe Car, and those things, and the local companies.
Okay.
And if you look at the foreign company, their setup, their settings, it's so unique. They wear uniforms, they are professionally, everything. Compared to some of the local ones, no. And you find those who have one car that are trying to do car rental, hanging out at the hotels.
Yeah, waiting when a person comes out.
So I asked myself a million questions: do I want to be that, or do I want to be like the Europe car?
Yes.
And I choose
the European setup. How they are doing is better than what you're seeing.
Exactly. So that gave me the path to go. So from day one, I started putting systems and structures in place to achieve that. And I read a lot about how they started, how they are doing it, and I built my model around, any company globally, any company that like the Europe car has that inspired me at the time to emulate their model. So that is how YOKS chose the other side. Instead of one man driving in a hotel hoping somebody will come and take your business.
You still chose the European setup when you had to make a decision as to where YOKS was heading. Outside of that, what sets YOKS apart? Over the years, what YOKS has become right now. Give the audience an overview of what sets YOKS apart.
What set YOKS apart? I can tell you that way back 20 years ago, I imagined and saw YOKS with my mind eye, how it should look like, the colors that my team wear now, the uniform, the branding, all that. I said earlier that during the time I drove, the feedback I got from customers. So I always have it at the back of my mind. What can I do differently to stand out? And the examples were there to look from. So I start putting systems. I have my website, I have my domain, I have my call card, I have contracts and all that. All this at the time I didn't have office. It was at my car boot,
Wow.
Exactly, because I couldn't afford to rent an office space at the time, So what set YOKS apart is the quality of service we offer at YOKS. We talk about the experience. It's not, we go beyond just a car, giving you a car. At YOKS, all our cars have, now is common, it's basic now, but before it wasn't a common thing. Have internet in the cars, that when you sit in it, you want to browse, you can browse for free.
Okay.
When we do meet and greet at the airport, it's hot in Ghana, especially when you are coming from the west. So we have a chill towel that we give to our clients to wipe their face, and they feel calm. We give them water on arrival, and we have unique products like tour packages, like we were until recently only car rental company that 24-hour service.
Wow.
So any day, any time you can get whatever.
Available.
We do pick and drop hourly services a whole day. Our drivers are professionally trained in uniform, having name tag, So these things put us apart. And let me share this with you. When I started, I was told that if we don't buy franchise like Europe Car, this franchise thing, there's no way we can win certain major contracts, because it's believed that Ghanaian businesses, some are not that professional. So that would be a barrier. And I say, no, let me give it a try. I won't. Let me build the brand YOKS, And yes, through putting system training, consistent training, and we are intentional with everything that we do. Before a car goes out, there's a checklist that we make sure that everything is okay. So when the client sit there, you don't have an issue. Yeah, it's been happening few times, but I don't have issue with unexpected air conditioning or car breaking down or no. So in fact, that make us a different from others, and we bid for international contract like the West African gas pipeline, in 2006, and we won the bid. You know, a Movenpick, Ambassador Hotel, a lot of big corporations that we are sole transport company that manages everything transport for them. So I believe the product, our services, and the quality and what we sell, the experience, is what set YOKS aside, apart from others.
Nice. Is YOKS what you dreamed they would be right now?
Yeah.
In every way possible?
I saw it 20-something years ago. When I didn't even have the car, I was dreaming about it. I know this joke, I remember in Osu, I grew up in Osu, and this woman in our house in the morning, and I got up and I said, I'm going to build my company. And she jokingly said, when you finish eating your sister bangkun, and then you have solution saying you build a company and all that, you know. I believe that we command what we think of ourselves. The words that we speak are very powerful because God created everything with words. And the Bible said God created us as his own image and likeness. So the words we speak, we command what we think of ourselves, right? So I was saying it. Even the woman will say, you don't even have a bicycle, and you are thinking of,
you're thinking of.
Exactly. And just look at it. I started as a trotro meet, which is in the lowest rank in the transport sector. And fast forward, I became the president of the Car Rental Association of Ghana. Also, the same transport sector. So it is about believing in yourself. We command what we think of ourselves, you know.
Yes.
And that, for me, make the magic. It's about, once you do that, you bring that power that God has given you. Because God gives us dominion over everything. So believe it. Why do you organize a pity party and cry over your issues? And
why?
Because of your background, because of your education, because of your family or ethnicity, color, race. No, don't let those things limit you. You can really rise to the occasion if you believe in yourself.
Starting from the bottom of the food chain when it comes to the transport sector, right, to the position you are right now in it, has that experience given you a better grip of handling issues in your position right now?
Yes, because I have been a driver before. I have traveled the length and breadth of this country, even within the sub-region. So I can understand when a driver is complaining or is, I can appreciate that. I have been a customer care before. So when a customer service person is talking, I can appreciate what he's saying. I have gone through different, so that have been a major springboard for where I am today and how I behave and my understanding of the issues and all that. Yes, that have played a major role.
In the moment, you just may not have seen it as going to be an add-on to where you'd be in the future, but it really has been helpful to you.
Yeah. You see, whatever you find yourself doing, do it right the first time. Do it well. You don't know who is watching. You don't know who is there. I'm not moved or driven by money.
Okay.
But how do I make someone happy? And that is what I said, service. So when I was driving on that one car days, everybody that sits in my car really liked me.
Yeah.
Referral, he will tell another person, when you go to Ghana, look for this young man, he's good.
Yeah.
And that is how, it's a word of mouth. So do it well the first time when you are given the opportunity.
That's definitely one that you have to reiterate again, because sometimes certain people forget that. They are moved by other factors. I'm going to take us back a bit, okay, to the point where you had to lose your parents at an earlier age. What is it for you now being a father? How is the experience like? How have you, based on what you also dealt with, made better decisions when it comes to your relationship with your family? Has that helped in your position?
A lot. And what I have 5 boys and a girl, which I'm so proud of.
Congratulations.
I call them my board members.
Age.
Yes, spending time with them, listening to them, so amazing. And one thing that I ask myself, if my parents were to be alive, and they giving me all that, sleep at 8 o'clock, wake up at this time, read your books, go, those, would I have turned out like this? So from that background, I give my children, I engage with them instead of imposing.
Imposing?
Yes, we engage, we discuss the issues, and I take their views into consideration. So it helps them to be independent thinkers. They can decide on their own, because I won't be there. I always tell them I won't be there for them all the time, right? Like my parents, I thought they would be there for me. They wasn't. So I think juggling my current position with family and all that is a very difficult thing, but there's joy when you see them, growing. And I spend my time, if I'm not at work or program, I'm with them. And go swimming, we play soccer at home sometimes, we do things together. And that inspired me, that I am fortunate that I'm around.
You get to spend
and
time.
I'm spending time with them. I'm guiding them to take the right decision, but not imposing on them too. So it's a great experience. It's a wonderful experience, that you are imparting somebody,
And this also extends into your business life?
Yeah. It's business is relationship. It's networking.
Yes,
the people you know, and you network with, how you relate to them, how well you sell them, what memories you live with them. It's all about business. Same way your family. What kind of upbringing are you giving to them? What kind of values, morals are you teaching them? And you don't say this and do that. Same in business. Because integrity for me is integrity, believing in yourself, people development, and all that are some of the hallmark that I look forward to. So yes, it's a joy seeing them growing up and asking all those questions and so forth and so forth.
There have been situations, that have come up that I probably know you didn't prepare for with regards to your company, YOKS, right? Certain things may have come out of nowhere that may have blown it, destabilized it for a bit. How have you kept yourself relevant, effective, and even still alive till now? Not you, the business. The business.
Yeah, I think I give those credit to those people. It's not me. It is, the credit goes to other people. And I said something earlier that is about relationship, right? Your relationship with people will either make you or break you. Okay, so yes, there might be, I have gone through a lot of difficult and challenging time that sometimes I felt like giving up. I felt like
this one too.
Exactly. From nowhere, someone calls you, or someone. I remember there was a time that we don't have money to run,
Okay.
but people were owing us. It wasn't coming, and I went home and I like, hey, how tomorrow are we going to do this? And from nowhere there was a call. Your check is ready. Can you send somebody to pick it up?
Okay.
It's relationship, how you relate to people. So God never comes down to solve anything.
No.
I say angels on assignment. There are angels everywhere. But it's like magnets. Magnets can attract another magnet quickly, right? So if you have good intention, good heart, and you treat everyone the same, like you want to be treated, respect for one another and all that, those open doors. Because we can't do anything. We are not an island. whatever you do, you need someone to approve or someone to one thing or the other, right? So I could say that is what have kept me going through the challenges, because I always get someone to come to my aid. Always get someone to put in the word. Always get someone to say, trust him, he can do it. Give him the chance. I know him. So that, I would say, has been the secret of 20 years and still
running,
relevant and going.
So there wouldn't be like a secret formula, because dealing with people can be cumbersome. Is there a secret formula for you that you use that definitely will not fail?
The secret is treat each person. You don't have to know that person's background. You don't have to know. Sometimes you walk to a shop here in Ghana and the person look at you from head to toe and say, why are you here? Right? You don't do that. Treat and serve everyone the same. Show them respect. And once you do that, they remember. You see, it is the experience, the memory, what the person taking away, meeting you. The first impression. When the person saw you, what message? How did you come across? How you carry yourself? How you dress? How you speak? Well, it's very, very important. So I would say, if there's any secret, probably 7 people is the secret.
So we need to consider to be of service in every situation when you're dealing with people. Essentially, you have gone through your life the way you have. Sitting back and looking at it, is this like real to you?
Yes, I have. Sometimes I ask the same question, but I think it is. My consolation is that with God all things are possible, and I think that if God have a chosen ones, probably I'm one of them.
Yeah, you are one of them.
One of them, because it amazes me. But notwithstanding hard work, also I work very hard. I am very focused what I do. I enjoy my work and I do it very well. I have also contributed to where I am. You had to be intentional. You had to plan. You had to know where you're going. Vision. What your mind eye is seeing through the future. And that creates who your associates will be. Who you want to, the type of books to read, the type of friends to choose, where to hang out, and all that your vision will help you, And I put it this way, that your vision will help you to be creative. And once you are creative, you will be ahead of the competition. And once you are ahead of the competition, you'll be successful. So what do you want in life? You should ask yourself.
That's where you have to start first.
Yes. What do you want? There are a lot of stuff out there. You see, Ghana, when you go on the road, there's a lot of chaos, traffic, and all this challenge. When you solve this thing, you make money. All what we complain about every day are business opportunities. Solve issues. Look at the world. The richest companies are all the subscribe companies, the tech. Amazon, you have to subscribe and download something and order something, right? Uber, name it. Okay.
YOKS.
So yes, you have to be intentional about your life. What do you want? And once you answer that question, that will help you know what steps to take, the kind of people you need around, and what you need to do to move to the next level.
You did mention about reading books. Do you have any that you would recommend, just in case someone would like to pick up something you've read before?
I read anything.
One of your favorites?
I like a lot of John C. Maxwell.
Okay.
His leadership, his 7 principles of leadership. I like a lot of John C. Maxwell. I mean, he's an evangelist, a pastor, and a so motivational speaker, and he makes a lot of sense, you know. So yes, I read a lot about him. I even have his my friend Albert Okran gave me a whole Bible from him, which is very unique. It's full of So yeah, I like, and I read anything, you know, depend on what you want. You see, it depends on your situation, what you want to know, and what to read. For the information, I said to my children that during our time, you have to have the concise dictionary and be. But now it's your finger. You just put in there, and the information, everything you want is out there.
It's easier to get information.
Exactly. So you don't have any excuse not to be relevant. You know, the information are there to find out if only you want. But what do you want? You see, that's the question.
It comes back to that.
What do you want? Google will give you whatever, but you have to put in something before Google will give you the answers, right? So what do you want to put there before you get something? You know, it's about you.
Something just dropped in my mind. Do any of your kids want to follow in your footsteps?
Most of them.
Wow.
They're amazing. You know, I look at them and I laugh. It's like, yeah, and that gives me a lot of joy, and that I have the board members that take it to the next.
Your board members are interested in joining the board.
Yeah, joining the board. Yeah, to the next level.
Wow. This just seems like a beautiful story. For me, when I look at where you are right now, okay, and you saying that you had to go as far as being a churchill mate, it sounds unbelievable. But that also makes it look like if someone is even a churchill mate, it doesn't mean that that's where there's room for them to be in a better position if they actually put
if
themselves.
Only if you want to do change. You know, we don't like changes. We don't like to. We are used to. Our culture is this. This is my upbringing. We always have one excuse or to justify why something is not done. Get it done and do it well. You know. The Bible warns us that we shouldn't transform into the world, right?
Yeah.
But we should conform. And I told you Adam story. He named everything. And the meaning. Look at the creativity and innovation that went into that, right? So why can't you do it? And you see, you didn't end with Adam. Because during Adam's time, we don't have Apple, we don't have Samsung, but people, human beings are still naming things.
Yes, that's true.
We are still creating and naming things. So why do you sit there and blame everyone, but not yourself?
Wow, that's actually very, very sensible.
Yeah, so it is you, what you want.
It's up to you. You are the change, in fact, in the aspect that you're in, right? If anybody wanted to venture into it too, and they probably wanted to team up or join you because you're a mentor in certain regards, how do they get through to you? How easy is it for them to meet you? Where do they start even?
I'm there. You can reach me send me an email or my social, media, or my contact.
Okay.
Or my offices. Yeah.
Can we know where your office is? Maybe somebody wants to be coming to you by the close of today already because they want employment or something.
What we are doing, we're a new model that we're trying to roll up, probably starting the process now by beginning of the year, next year, is to remodel myself. If I say remodeling myself, what I'm referring to is I started with one car, and being able to build it up to now, I can teach especially the young ones, the graduates. We have this mentality that if I'm a university graduate, there are certain jobs I shouldn't go to do. But you do those jobs to acquire experience.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. So we are coming out with trying to get the graduates to understand. We're going to train them on how to do tour guiding, how to use social media to market themselves globally, because the world is a global village.
Yes.
And then I will give them a car to work and pay. So eventually, like I buy new cars, use it for 3-4 years and sell them. So my second vehicle that I'm going to sell, I'm going to give it to them for work and pay.
Oh.
So they become self-reliant. They can, and I'll teach them the rope, how to do it, So that is where we want to go, to help the graduates, because people want to move around, and tourism is my friend said, is a way of life, So Ghana is among 3 countries in the world that must visit.
Yes, okay? One of the places you must visit.
Must visit in the world. So what are we doing to the youth to know this and to prepare themselves and being able to articulate our culture, our unique way of doing things, not the Europeans' way. We have a unique way of doing things. I call it a product Ghana. How well do you know Ghana? And take them around. So that experience, they go back and they want to come back to you.
Wow.
So it's one of the things we want to do. But we have offices, we have branch office at the Movenpick Ambassador Hotel.
Okay.
We have one at Marriott, and we have our main office at Osu.
Okay.
And you can reach us on info@yoksghana.com, info@yoksghana.com, or 054-061-4545. And you can also even Google the name YOKS, rent a car, and you get a whole, YOKS is YOKS. You get all the information about us, our website, www.yoksghana.com. But we're doing some 20 years, we're rebranding.
Wow.
Changing way how we do things. Okay. We are investing in more tech. So wherever you are, you can just click a button and book a car.
Ooh.
Whether you want to drive yourself,
Ooh.
or you want a driver, or all that. So you can reach us on this.
There is obviously a lot in the pipeline for YOKS.
Yeah.
How many cars do you have now? We know that you started from 1, and then by the time that's Camille, is it Camille?
Yeah.
By the time Camille was leaving, you had 3.
No, it's Louise.
Yeah. Louise.
Yeah.
Corrected. Louise, how many do you have right now?
We have a fleet of cars that serves our clients from Movenpick, Marriott, and we have a fleet of cars that we use to serve all our clients. Yeah.
And there's no situation where you're going to be like, oh no, we have none available right now, come back later.
We do have those situations. So recently we introduced what we call third-party revenue sharing. So assuming you have a car that meets our standards, right, you can register it with us and we do revenue sharing. It's a win-win because we have people that have 3 or 4 cars sitting at home, which is doing nothing. So we have that, and we also have an arrangement with one of the insurance companies. I won't mention the name because very soon we're going to launch that product.
Okay.
That allows you to, for example, you have 4 cars, and the laws require you to have insurance. So instead of paying for, paying for comprehensive insurance for all the 4 cars, and you probably don't use all, you can have third party for all of them. And at the time you want to drive car A, we have developed I'll call it a USSD code, *812#, and then pay for that period in which we're going to use the car as comprehensive. You convert it from third party to comprehensive and drive that car for maybe a day or a week or whatever it is, and then you switch to another one. It helps you to manage your cash flow. We are in the situation that cash is king. So how do you manage your cash flow? So, and if something happens, it's comprehensively insured, So yes, it's one of the products we also bring in. So individuals, companies that have cars. And we also do fleet management. So if you're having all those wahalas of managing your fleet and your drivers, you can rely on YOKS to come in there and help you structure it and manage it. How to reduce your fuel costs, maintenance, and all that. these are a lot of things we do that make us strong, you know.
I feel like there's a lot embedded in what YOKS stands for, that you are not. Take us in, let us see, because this is very interesting information that I think would want people would want to do or partake in or affiliate with you. This is beautiful.
So there's so many ways you can affiliate with us, you know, and it's a win-win for all of us, because over 20 years of experience, how do we share it with the public? How do we give back to society? You know, it's one of these things. Like, I mean, tour specialists, which as a graduate, you know, from school we train you, but of course you have to know how to drive, because you are using the vehicle as a tool to provide a service. You are not a driver. You know, in Ghana, when you say a driver, then everybody is like, you don't want to.
They look at it different.
It's a tool to provide a service, you know. So you have a car that will move people around, but the product is the experience you are giving to that person, and we train on that is one. The third-party revenue sharing is two, and then this insurance be to have some, you know, and other things that
other things involved too. One key thing you just said that has actually made me look at my life again. You did mention that if a person says that they are a driver, they're looked in a certain kind of way. It's sort of like a demeaning position. But you view it as a tool. What tool are you working with? It doesn't necessarily have to be a car.
Yeah.
In my case, I guess it's my voice.
Yes.
That's my tool.
Exactly.
That is an empowering position. And I think that mindset kind of changes how you approach life with your tool.
Yeah. We all have something. So how are you using it? You know, you need a computer here to do your job, right? You are not a computer IT specialist, but you need that to do your job. The same way somebody need a bike to do his job, somebody need a car to do his job, somebody have a voice, somebody, you know, we all have something. That. So don't look at yourself as a driver, look at the end results. What are you using the car to achieve? You know, is what is important. And I believe if our graduates can embrace this concept, and we will create jobs, you know, because you have to have some level of experience and engaging people, meeting people, because my job allowed us to meet different kinds of people and is a platform for you to realize your dream. That might not be where you end, but that should be a starting point from you. So there's always should be a starting point for you to start your life and build it up from there, instead of sitting home. And I told my team, my drivers, we don't call them drivers, we call them operational assistants.
Wow.
Operational assistant, because they are just using the car to provide service. And whatever marketing we have done and all that, if the client sits in that car, they spend more time with them in the car, in the traffic, and he doesn't know what he's talking about, he doesn't know what he's doing, then what is the point? Because what we do is a car. You want to, as I got here, I can come here with Uber or Trotro or car or whatever. So getting here is not the issue, but the experience. So we are giving that experience. It's not the car. It's the person in that car with you. What is able to do. That is what we preach and we are selling. So we don't use the word drivers. We said operational assistants.
Operational assistants.
Yeah.
The man we're talking with, Seth Yabua Okrana, CEO of YOKS Car Rental. 20 years, it really has enlightened you, hasn't it?
Yes. There's been ups and downs and bad times, good times, and it's a good experience, you know, going through different governments, different environments. It's been a good journey, you know.
Have you ever contacted again? This time I know I'm getting it right. Camille. No. Oh my goodness. Louise. Have you ever, like, does she know where you are now?
We lost contact.
Oh, and that's so sad.
Yeah, we lost contact because I said that to her last dinner, and I said, Louise, I'm going to build a brand, a company, and she laughed and she said, I believe you can do it, you know. And yeah.
You have done it.
Yes.
I think it would have been such a wholesome story to know that she gets to see you now. Does a part of you wonder what it would be like?
I don't think she'll be surprised because we do engage, we have conversations, and she know my plans, how passionate I am to really build proper company, and so I believe she will, for whatever she is, she will know that
you definitely may have achieved it.
Yeah.
You did give us, I call it the secret recipe to dealing with people. But what has been your coping mechanism through the hard and soft times? What has been your coping mechanism? You seem to be very, very reliant on God. But what has been your coping mechanism?
It's believing in myself. And do your best. You can't certify everyone. So let your conscience judge you. Do your best. Once you give up your best, leave the rest for posterity. Yeah. And you are giving me my best, so it's my best. If it's not good enough, probably I'll go back to look at what I didn't do right and then come back. So humility is key also in dealing with people, trying to understand different people from different backgrounds, and yeah.
Can you share with us some of the key milestones that you have been able to reach? There's got to be something that you would be like, wow, this is something worth celebrating on the journey to where you are right now.
Ooh, it's a lot. I remember in somewhere 2014 when I won my first Charter in CEO Marketing Ghana Award, and I was interviewed by somebody from Graphic or Mirror.
Okay.
And he called me after to come and do full interview, and a few months later they called me and they make it the front page story on the Mirror, and the banner headline was a trotro meet that owns over 55 luxurious vehicles, and it was reviewed everywhere. So I was my people were calling me, said, I listened to you on Metro, and everywhere. I was like, wow. Wow. And also when I was invited to the Buckingham Palace, it was so amazing, And I remember at the airport, the immigration officer asked me, what are you here to do? And I said, I'm invited to attend a program at the Buckingham Palace, and he wanted to see evidence of that, and I showed the and it was all over the place, all over me. So happy for me, Walked me out and said, wow, you must be a big man in your country, But yes, it was a very, very refreshing for me, and I felt good that after all I've been able to do something that others have recognized my hard work, Yeah.
Wow. Getting to that spot where you have been invited to the Buckingham Palace, what was that experience like?
It makes you feel good, and you continue to do what you do and do it well.
Because you believe that
people are watching. Yeah.
Wow. I know it definitely does feel good to know that what good things you plan to do actually does the good thing you plan it to do, and it positively impacts people's lives.
Yeah.
Was there defining moments that you believed, yes, this one day I have actually done a good job?
Yes. I remember my first engagement with the West African gas pipeline was my first major contract, and we went through the bid process with other companies, and I got a call that you won the bid. And during the interview time, I was asked a direct question that said, do you have the capacity to start now if we ask you to start? And I said yes, like usual. And lo and behold, a month later, I got a call from them and they said, we have a situation now if you can step in this morning, we will sign the contract with you. In fact, I got a call around 6 a.m. and I had to provide about 40 cars by 9 a.m. And all my fleets at the time, I'm talking about 2006, was about 4 used cars. So how do I get 40 vehicles by 9 a.m.? And you see, relationship is key. Prior to that, Ghana hosted the U.S. Africa Sister City Conference, and I happened to provide the transport services to the Sister City Coordination Office in Ghana.
Okay.
Which brought about 400 participants all over the world, including 6 mayors from America. So after that conference, in fact, I've sourced all the cars because I don't have 2003. I don't have cars to do that, but I use other people's vehicle, and I pay everyone the word, everyone. So that was in 2003. So in 2006, that morning when I got a call to start at 9 o'clock, I still rely on 3 years back those I work with. So when I called them, because of the relationship I had with them, because I paid everyone, by 8 o'clock I have about 50 cars from different individuals. Yes. And that was the breakthrough, signing that contract, my first major contract with West African Gas Pipeline Chevron, and was a big thing. It was the time I look at myself and say, wow,
this is it.
Yes, this is it. You know, I was able to do. So you see, go back to tells you the works we speak. I can do it. And they put me to the test and I delivered because I believe I can do it. So it was my wow moment. Yeah.
That is a wow moment. Yeah. Also, do you also get the deja vu I'm getting right now? Because before Louise came back, that was somewhat, it wasn't 40. That was one car. It was the similar challenge you had to deal with.
Yeah.
And that was a breakthrough moment for you.
So you see, if you look at the scientists, they will say these scientists have discovered this, have discovered that. Meaning the 10 was there. Who put it there? So I believe that God have planned our life. Everything is already there. You have to push yourself. You have to challenge yourself to look for it. Your talent. What am I doing? So yes, it wasn't, nothing comes, my journey, nothing has come easy. No, you have to work, push for it. Consistency, perseverance, determination. You have to make it work, right? So yes, it can go on and on and on and on and on, you know.
Wow.
On and on and on and on with that. So it's you what you believe in and what you want, your imaginations. You choose to dream about it. You have to think about it. So there's no surprises, you know. You can't give what you don't have. You can't crave for what you haven't eaten before, right?
Because you don't even know what it tastes like
exactly,
to crave it.
Exactly. So you are limited in. That's why you have to read. You have to research. You have to have friends, that information. So who are you hanging out with? The information you get and all that. And so when you are imagining it, you can do it. You can do it.
This is definitely an eye-opening conversation. Before we started, I was like, reading about you seems like you've lived a very, very, very interesting life. And the story is actually living up to it. Wow. Share with us, okay, what have you observed as the biggest challenge for young people when it comes to having access to funding their businesses?
Is a lot of things, but let me focus on is the upbringing, is is societal challenge, right? Because nobody have money sitting there and just giving it to people. The banks also get their money from individuals and people, right? So why would you go there and just said I want this without being able to justify what you want the money for? Many people will said, I need this money, and you ask the person, what are you going to, or how much do you need? Oh, anything you give me. How would anything do it?
Yeah.
Right? You should be able to know how much you need to finish. If you want to sell cassava, what do you need to get the cassava to the market and somebody buy it, and how much are you getting out of that? Then you can pay that money. Many a times we are unable to explain, articulate, which you will call it a business plan. Even as an individual, you are living, you eat, you wear clothes and all that. What is your plan? So many a time we are unable to articulate that clearly, and nobody will want to give you his money without don't know what you want to use the money for. You know, people walk to me and said, "I want a job. What can you do?" Or anything. How can you do anything? You know, you can't do. And it's the same way with, if you are able to, my relationship over the years, right, to scale up, I need to bring the banks into the picture, right, to borrow from the bank. I remember my contract with Movenpick, I had to borrow to buy about 30 cars at a go.
Wow.
You know, I should be able to tell the bank the cash flow, the flow from that contract. And this is how much I'm using to pay salaries, this is how much maintenance, this is how much insurance, so I can pay you this any month. And it should make sense. They give you the money. Okay, because they are there to give money.
Yeah.
To sell money, to make profit. That is what they do. So if your project is viable, but people have a great concept, great ideas, but they are unable to articulate it. And that makes it difficult for anyone to, because it's like you don't know, you won't sit, if you go to the hospital and the doctor is telling you, going to perform a surgery and he's telling you, today is my first day, I'm not sure, will you allow?
No.
The same thing, nobody will give you his money if you're unable to explain your plan, your vision, what you seek the money for. You know, I think that is one. And yes, that is the major. And you have to have a track record. You see, I told you about that man that gave me my first car.
Yes.
You see, he took my word, and I didn't let him down. I paid for. So after, he will call me, "Oh, we have a car, do you want it?" Okay. That is how we built on. You go to the bank, you borrow, you pay. Next time they will call you and give you better interest rates, you know, to do that. So is a multiplicity of issues to raise money, right? So I think this is two of the challenges I can identify. You know, we are unable to, tell how much that business is giving you, how much you're going to make at the end of the month and all that. Nobody will give you. And you have to start from your family. Because if within your family nobody believes you to give you money to do something, how do you think somebody will believe you and give you his money? You know. So it starts from school, when in school. Because the same network, age group, we call them our youth, the future leaders, right, are going to grow up. So the kind of your attitude in school, your friend give you, give me 10 CDs to buy, and then you didn't pay back. They will know you. It's the same people coming into the world when they finish school, right? So you build life. I say it is not an event, it's a journey. So whatever you put in is there one day, you're going to face it. You know, whether you are young today, so you think you are getting away with it. You are not getting away with it. It will one day come and face you squarely. So you have to be intentional with what you do as you go through the journey. You have to be prepared, because whatever you are doing today, 10 years, 20 years is going to come back to you. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes absolute truth. We will be checking out a few questions from Twitter, if there's any there, so we can find out. Maybe people want to find out, oh, what about this? Questions pertaining their lives, something they would want your input on. But before that, tell us, what do you do to relax? What is that activity?
Spending time with my children. I love playing table tennis. I love swimming. So, yeah, spending time with my family and reading.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. And do you have any interest in traveling? And if so, what's your favorite destination in Ghana?
In Ghana, I have a lot.
Oh,
Oh, I have a lot. In the car rental, we say we drive tourism, so you can imagine. I have a lot of Ghana have wonderful places, especially when you go out of Accra. And I think we're coming out with a product, Know Ghana with YOKS, for people, students, and all to know our country. Ghana is so beautiful. It's very, very beautiful. So I like it in the western region, the Volta region, the eastern region. I have a lot of places that. A lot of places. Can't start mentioning
because then that will leave other places out.
Yes.
Where was the last one that you went to that you enjoyed?
It's in around the Adan area.
Okay.
Oh wow.
Oh wow. And I'm guessing you went with your family, right?
Yes.
Oh, it's nice to know that you take as much time as possible to be present in their lives when you have the time. That's interesting. Do you have any final words for the listeners? Just in case you had to touch someone's life with maybe 3-4 sentences, what would that be?
Before that, let me say that we go around to say, and it's true, if you look at Ghana, statistics show that the youth between 30 years and below are about 60% or 61%, right? Mm-hmm. Question is, what kind of skill set are we giving them? What kind of training are we giving them so they become relevant to the job market? I think there is a gap between what school is teaching and what industry really wants, So even though we have the youthful population in Africa, mm-hmm. when it comes to skills, they are not skills, mm-hmm. because of, I think, the current educational system and the structures is kind of outdated that we have to look at. But what I would say to the youth is that you have to believe in yourself. And whatever you find yourself doing, do it very well the first time. You don't know who is watching. Don't give up. Don't let your background limit you. Be it education, race, family, or whatever. Just have a vision for yourself. Plan something. And all these challenges we complain about every day is a money-making opportunity. So try your hand on something and do it well for the first time. And you will never know how far that will take you.
Wow. Listening back, it's obvious that these traits have helped you come a long way. And I believe everybody that's doing the listening now would also want to pick up that so that it can help them in whatever venture they decide to go on. Are your kids listening?
Yes.
Do you want to say hi to them?
Hi, guys. How are you? I hope you are listening.
I like the fact that they chose to listen through, even though they are home with you. They're still supporting you while you're on air.
Yeah.
Can you give me one name? Let me say hi to.
Kuku, Fifi, Nana, and Kojo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, guys. It's been an interesting conversation with your dad. I've spent over maybe a little over an hour with him, and I've loved every second of it. I hope you guys are making the best of him at home. Do you have a favorite song? Maybe we could play one song for you.
Oh, recently I like, I'm a Eric Donaldson fan. I like hymns and all that. But I like Shatawale.
Yeah.
Oh,
no.
You know for the, I know my level, that song.
Uh-huh.
I will buy a motor from, I don't know the release very well, but I really like that song.
Did not see that coming. We're going to play that for you right now. I didn't see that coming. That is one of your favorite songs. That's actually outstanding. When you started from hymns, I was like, oh, okay, that's actually quite expected. But Shatawale. There are quite quite a few messages coming in. Messages of appreciation, and we're definitely going to touch on that. You need to hear the impact you've had on our listeners too. But you wanted to give us a little more about your position. Can we go into that?
I became the president of the Car Rental Association of Ghana.
Yes, we talked about that.
And I think I have had a wonderful, tenure, which is coming to an end this year. One person that stands out, my vice president, Mr. Kwesi Maofo, who is also the CEO of Atlas Rent a Car, been very, very supportive during the journey. And the whole council of Ghana Tourism Federation, the president, and the whole team, especially Dr. Akanyamike, is also a president of the Hoteliers Association of Ghana. And my team at YOKS, we said leadership starts from the bottom. The car detailing personnel, we have our own car washing bay that we wash our cars. You start from there.
Wow.
So I think I am where I am today because of their hard work, what they put in. And I say shout out to all of them for a wonderful, and they are listening now. I believe they are listening. Those that are not working,
I think they will definitely be listening.
And I'm so proud that the credits go to them. My children, of course, my family are wow. I love them, and they are listening. So yes, I think a lot of the impact when I took over the association, we were able to have our domain, have our own websites, have a constitution. You remember the luxury, the famous luxury tax. When government brought that tax, which was so affecting our business. Together we've pushed it, and government listening to our plea and took it off. And few things that I think have done for the association, and I'm proud and I'm happy. Yeah.
The impact you've had wherever you go is outstanding. That I must say. Ras Caleb says, blessed times, Ambassador Seth Yabua Okran, the legend. I definitely tip my hat off to you. Emmanuel Kojo says it's been a very educative and eye-opening conversation. Yom definitely describes you as a mentor to the young ones, and I agree with that. Listening to your tale, it means that no matter what or where you find yourself, so long as you're willing to apply yourself, trusting God, the options are endless.
Trusting God and believing in yourself.
Ohima says you are definitely making a change. Even in my life, I'm so proud to hear from you. Wow. You definitely have had a great influence on the people that you've encountered in life, and I'm glad that we having you here is also going to have a positive touch on everyone that's doing the listening. If you could reiterate the means to reach in, the social media handles, the contact again, the offices, so if anybody joined in right now, they know how to get back to you.
We can... Just a minute.
Okay.
On Facebook, you can at YOKS Rent a Car, Instagram at YOKS Rent a Car, and Twitter at YOKS Rent a Car 1. Facebook is set Yabua Okran.
Okay, that's for you.
Yes,
personally.
For me personally. Okay. And like I said, we have a branch office at Movenpick Ambassador Hotel. We run 24-hour services. You can go there and see our wonderful cast if you want any car. We at YOKS, we make it possible for you to drive your dream car. So any car, the question is, why do you spend all your life savings to buy one car while YOKS can make it possible for you to drive any of your dream car? So walk to Movenpick, our branch at Marriott, and our Osu branch. You can reach us on 054-061-4545 and info at yoksghana.com or rent a car at yoksghana.com. My personal email is set at yoksghana.com.
It's been a wonderful conversation with you. It's really been insightful. And actually, I dare say motivational even. I like that. We loved having you, and I'm positive your phones are going to be blowing up now because everybody's going to be calling you. How do I get in? I want to be a part. We've had a conversation with Mr. Seth Yobua Okran, the CEO of YOKS Car Rentals and President of the Car Rental Association of Ghana. This is about all we have for you for today on the Y Leaderboard series. You know we never disappoint. There is more to come with YOKS, okay? So you should definitely keep an eye out for them. Am I right?
Yes.
Yes.